This week on Nerdigo News, we're talking lanterns, we're talking Grand Theft Auto 6, and we're talking absolute Batman all the way to the moon. All that, plus we're going inside everything that happened at D23 on this week's episode of Nerdigo News. Bruno, do the thing. Welcome to Nerdigo News, the only entertainment news show coming to you from a different Gotham City. I'm Riley Trahan, Senior Entertainment Editor at Nerdigo Media, and as always, I am joined by my co-hosts, slightly different Deepak Chitness.
Slightly different, but same great taste.
Yeah, right. It's just like instead of purple and brown, you're black and white now. Slightly different Bruno Meneses.
Let's try to get this all in one take, right, guys?
You're you're maybe like a little more hunched over and scrangly, and very different Jackson Trahan, big scary demon.
Yay! I get to be the big scary monster. That's what I was hoping for.
We are
Kaiju Jackson.
We are, of course, joking around about Absolute Batman, the craze of this season's comic book crowd, which we are going to get into because, guys, I don't know if you have any idea what first printings of Absolute Batman #1 are reselling for right now, but it's insane, and Bruno's going to break those numbers down for us. We're also going to talk about D23. We got looks at the new X-Men cast. We got looks at the Doomsday trailer. There was Star Wars stuff. There was a Kingdom Hearts TV show. I have to talk about theme parks. There's all sorts of D23 stuff we want to talk about. All that, plus we're breaking down lanterns. Let's get into it. Before we start, though, fellas, I do want to remind everybody of two things. Number one, nerdigo.com, youtube.com/@nerdigomedia, or Nerdigo Media, wherever you do the socials. That's thing number one. Thing number two is, we're not the X-Men, but if we were, what powers would we have? Deepak, let's start with you.
My power would be to go back in time and restart a recording so that my first take would make the show.
Yeah. That'd be a good one. The ability to, I think if I was gonna have something, it would be like the ability to undo really minor mistakes, so I couldn't get busted on by my friends just constantly. That'd be my mutant power, I think. And I would be like a teacher at the Xavier School, and I would teach like the morality of not abusing your power. You know, knowing when you do or don't sort of have to like use it in your everyday life. Maybe it's okay to chill your drink, but maybe you don't need to use your power to defrost the car. I don't know. Bruno, what about you? What's your mutant power going to be?
A bit similar to time manipulation as well, but in this case, I would just like to slow time down. I don't care about actually like time traveling or anything like that. Just like, and like not even super speed. It could be perceived by other people as super speed, but it's really just like slowing time down.
You just want like a supernatural ability to stop and smell the roses?
Sort of, yeah.
I dig that. Jackson?
Be Ghost.
Tell us more about this.
I want to be a ghost.
You want to be a ghost? Like Danny Phantom?
Go invisible, go through walls. Yeah, kind of Danny
Phantom. Wow.
A good, like, reference.
Now, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Yeah, Danny. All right. Well, get at us in the comments with your Danny Phantom thoughts. Let us know what your powers would be, all that, whatever you want. You can comment on the YouTube video, or if you are a subscriber to the show, first of all, thank you very much for your support. Subscribers really help us be able to make the show and make it good. And secondly, you'll be able to comment on the website, nerdigo.com. Let us know what your X-Men power or Danny Phantom memory is. Perfect. All right, let's get into the show.
Jack, in your case, like, did your parents kill you as well?
Oh, good call.
Jesus.
Oh, that could be fun.
Is that what the plot of Danny Phantom is?
That's just what like a lot of fan theories.
I thought that was the plot of Casper was.
I think I'm going to say, you know what? I'm just going to pencil this in for the Halloween season. Let's do Danny Phantom deep dive episode. Let's just kind of get that on the... Cool. I want to learn more about this mythology. But in the meantime, Jack, why don't you start off by talking to us about the most anticipated video game of the year? We love that SEO. Talk to us about Grand Theft Auto, baby, and Netflix if you can.
Yeah, sure. So we've been away for a few weeks on vacation and such, and so a few different news stories have broken in that time, and I was looking through which one I wanted to talk about, and I feel like the biggest story in the video game sphere recently is probably related to the most anticipated game of the year, GTA 6, which continues to have its release date careen forward at 1 day per day until it, I feel like it's too close now, as the marketing campaign is sort of launched off in earnest. And as a part of that, we have learned that Netflix is going to have an exclusive preview or first extended look at GTA 6. There's a few different ideas floating around, a lot of different leaks floating around online about what exactly this is going to look like. But the gist of it appears to be that on August 27th, Netflix will have at least 20 minutes of footage from/about the game. It will be exclusively on Netflix for 6 hours before being posted to YouTube. There are also some leaks that it might be 3 different 20-minute episodes, although I'm not sure if that's true or not. Certainly nobody has officially said that. But I thought this was interesting. You know, we talk about trailers a lot on this show for movies and otherwise, and I think it's the general opinion of not just the people here, but a lot of people online that trailers tend to show off too much these days.
Mm-hmm.
Or that the marketing campaign can go overboard in trying to sell you on an idea and ruin a lot of the surprises that it has. Certainly no movies are coming out with 20-minute trailers, but also games are a lot longer than movies. So I was wondering what you guys' thoughts were initially on this idea.
I mean, I want to kind of let Deepak get first crack at this apple, I feel like.
Certainly he has the strongest trailer opinions out of all of us, but probably the weakest video game opinions out of all of us. So I'm curious.
Not
Yeah,
weakest.
wow, weakest. Weakest.
Jesus,
You gonna let him talk to you like that?
Just I want to get lost. I want to get lost in these alternate reality
here. Maybe when you want to rank 2 sentences to a video game story, I'll believe that you have opinions about them.
I mean, I know this is another one of those open world, replace my real life with some virtual shit, so I don't have to live in the awfulness of reality kind of games. So I know I'm never going to play this, but the idea of partnering with Netflix to kind of get the word out on a game that's been anticipated for 20 years seems about right. I mean, the idea of the 3 different 20-minute vignettes that sort of like lay the groundwork for some of what the storyline is going to be kind of is interesting to me. And I'm sure the fan base is rabid enough to want to watch it live on Netflix for those 6 hours. So this seems like a bigger win for Netflix than it does for the game, to be honest.
I'm wondering how much this is going to actually be anything game related. Like, I feel like much of it will be behind the scenes stuff, no? Or like interviews with developers, or I can't imagine it's just going to be like 3 20-minute blocks of like cutscenes.
Yeah, that's definitely possible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
but then why do 3 different ones?
Does end up being like over 100 hours long. There's certainly, I think that there is enough content that they could show a lot without actually showing anything meaningful. I think usually when people do this, like what you're talking about, Riley, it would probably be the first 20 minutes, which tends to these days be very cinematic. But there would probably be at least some interspersed bits of like scripted gameplay or car chase sequences in the beginning of the game, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, no, I'm absolutely sure of that. I mean, we've joked for a long time how many video games come out that, like, at this point have like fully like hour-long cutscenes you have to sit through at the beginning of them before you're allowed to play anything significant or sometimes anything at all. I'm just saying that, like, I don't know what the benefit of that for someone like Rockstar would be, right? Like, you're going to have to sit through that if you play my game one way or the other. That's not necessarily going to get you so excited. And I'm just thinking, like, if they are actually releasing it this way, as you say, in these like 3 kind of 20-minute chunks, I'm wondering, like, what are the narrative structure of those? Like, kind of what's the added value of like sitting through additional of them and partitioning it out in that way. And I wonder if it's something like, you know, the characters, the world, the story, or something like that. And then sort of each of them offers behind the scenes looks, or, you know, maybe one of them has the map and one of them has like info on the characters and one of them has like kind of info on the general story of it. So there is like one significant piece of info you get from each thing. And other than that, it's a lot of like designers saying, you know, it was a unique challenge to return to Vice City after all these years.
I was going to ask, do these have a lot of continuity between installments? Like, is there a reason for them to do like a, hey, since the last time, here's kind of where these people are, here's where the city is? Like the way that the Marvel movies, they'll always have like the Captain Marvel preview comic for the movie kind of thing.
No, yeah. Grand Theft Auto, like each game has always been like an entirely different cast of characters. Usually an entirely different like city as well, depending on the game. I think like even Grand Theft Auto Five, the latest one, was like a return to Los Santos, which was from San Andreas. But
Mm.
I forgot where was Grand Theft Auto 4. Does anybody
No, I
know?
mean you're absolutely right. You've been spot on so far, Bruno. I'm just gonna hop on here and keep it going.
Yeah,
So GTA 1, 2, and 3, um, and then Vice City were all sort of first passes at unique locations. The first one being, it doesn't matter. We don't have to delineate them.
right.
Each of those was like a new city, a different thing, exactly what Bruno was saying. And then after that, Grand Theft Auto 4 went back to San Andreas. And I think that
Oh,
was the first sort of return. And I think that was also sort of a different team that was kind of saying, despite the fact that those 4 games had never really been in conversation with each other, it was sort of like that was one iteration. Now we're doing our own new thing. Right. So we went back to San Andreas. They went back to, in 5, they went back to, whatever their Los Angeles is.
Los Santos, which it's also San Andreas. Yeah.
And
Excuse me. Los Santos is a small part of San Andreas.
It's like a
and then
neighborhood.
6 is
Yeah.
supposed to be going back to Vice City, which I think is
Mhm.
like the thing people are most excited about. But unless I've really missed a trick here, Jack, I haven't seen anything about these characters being like the legacy version. Like they're
Are
not
we
like
getting
the
the
grandchild.
shit?
of-
Here we go again,
No.
guy again.
Certainly the protagonists, I think, are going to be like all new. I would be surprised if we got 0 references or like characters appearing who would be familiar faces to people who had played Vice City.
Mhm.
But I don't think it's like important that you play Vice City to understand what's going on in GTA 6. I would not expect that at all.
Vice City was also, when it came out, I feel like so revolutionary in so many ways, Jack. Can we just, before we move on from this story, talk a little bit about like what that game did, why it was cool and exciting to people, and what going back to it might entail, slash, like what we might be looking for in this Netflix thing?
Well, sure. I mean, all of the for all of Deepak's derision, GTA has always been a pioneer in the open world genre, which back when Vice City came out in 2002 was not nearly as ubiquitous as it is now.
Right.
So I think like the idea of being able to run around an entire city and go anywhere you want and sort of trigger freeform missions or steal any vehicle from straight off the road and start driving it around, that was all like novel in its
Revolutionary, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We sort of scoff at that idea of like that being entertaining all on its own now, maybe. But certainly Vice City came out for the PlayStation 2, yes? Which was, I think, a time when it's sort of hard to put yourself back in the mindset of how quickly games were progressing at the time. But like the new technology was becoming so available so quickly that the scale of these cities and missions and cutscenes and models and everything else was just escalating so fast that I think when this game came out, it was really mind-blowing. And I think that's a big part of why there's so much pressure on GTA as like a series now to deliver, and on GTA 6 after so long in development in particular.
Yeah.
Is GTA 6 a legacy sequel?
When did GTA 5 come out? Probably it's more than 10 years ago.
Well, but it even, it sort of is a legacy sequel like to Vice City, right? And I think that's how a lot of people are approaching it, and kind of why people are getting excited about it in that way is the way that Vice City was such a...
I mean, Vice City and GTA 5 are closer than GTA 5 and GTA 6 are.
Well, that's
that is wild.
I was looking back at the history of GTA 6 leaks, and I didn't realize that the first GTA 6 leak we got was 90 videos of like work in progress footage that all combined were about 50 minutes of actual game footage back in 2022. That was 4 years ago that people were leaking like over an hour of this game.
Because I think I remember at the time being like, this is not like, this is so early in development.
Right. But so now we're at the other end of it, right? Kind of just to that point. Sorry, it wasn't over an hour. Obviously, it was 50 minutes. 90 videos, 50 minutes. But it's sort of the same thing. Now we're getting 3 videos about 50 minutes, right? But it's like the end of the progress instead of the beginning of it.
Yeah.
So I was I'm going to talk about this in my pop culture recommendation, but I was playing Forza Horizon 6, and Maggie was making dinner the other night, and she called into me from the kitchen. She said, "You playing Grand Theft Auto?" I said, no. And I explained I was playing this racing game, and they both have radios and they both have car noises, so it's easy
Right.
to mistake them. And Maggie said, "Oh, I thought maybe the new Grand Theft Auto would come out." And I thought, you would know if the new Grand Theft Auto would come. I can assure you, I would have made it your problem by now if the new Grand Theft Auto had come out.
Doors just locked. There are no responses.
All right. Well, with that, let's move on, Bruno, and talk a little bit about comic books and get into the crazy resale value that we are seeing around Absolute Batman #1 right now. Especially, we just want to be clear, this is around the sort of original printing, a cover, like the thing. So that's what we're talking about here. It's not just any old issue of this book, but let's talk about it.
I mean, it's just like usually with most comics come out, when most comics come out these days, regardless of like what issue it is or like what the story is, it just like maintains a pretty steady stream of supply and demand, and just like never changes in price. It'll stay like the base price, and like actually most of the time, the month after it's out, it's already becoming automatically a back issue, and it actually goes down in price.
And this is a thing that's interesting to think about because of how many people sort of speculate in the comic book market, right? Either buy a book because they have a prospect of reselling it, or buy multiple books and think like, this is the one I'm going to read and this is the one I'm going to bag or whatever. Like there is a sort of rampant and all different covers, all these things, right? There is like a active collector community interested in making investments in these things.
Yeah, and so like with that, Absolute Batman just has been such a big thing now. It like to this day is still like constantly outselling any time that a new issue comes out. Like if you look at Midtown Comics, for example, which is where you can usually go to find like any issue of any comic like pretty easily if they have it in stock, their base price for cover A of Absolute Batman right now is $180. When usually these comics are going for like $6 a piece if you're a major publisher, $5 a piece if you're minorly, or like if you're more of like a supporting character in the universe. But still, like 180 is like a pretty big jump for I believe an issue that's been out for 2 years now, gonna be coming up in 2 years in October.
Yeah, and I'll do you one better, Bruno. I'm gonna wander over to a little website I like to call ebay.com, and I'm just gonna go down the listings here. Absolute Batman #1 CG Seed 9.8, that's going for $600. Absolute Batman #1 first print cover A, not CG Seed, $300. Absolute Batman #1 cover A first print CG Seed at a 9.8, $625. Absolute Batman #1 first print, $500. Absolute Batman #1 CG Seed at a 9.8, $400. That's a bargain. So yeah, I mean, and it just keeps going. $700, $400, $530, $600.
Yeah.
This, and it is, we were joking up top about the sort of nature of the Absolute universe, but this Absolute Batman thing is just, it's going crazy. People love the Absolute Batman. They're doing a cartoon show. This Absolute universe is extending on for another year. There's no sign of it letting up. I mean, people can't get enough.
Right.
Of and this then, big angry Bruce Wayne.
And it's worth mentioning, just because you're mentioning all those prices for reference as well. The 180 that I mentioned from Midtown Comics is from like a ungraded comic. Yeah. So like it like they'll do their best and their due diligence to make sure the comic comes looking like new for you, but like it still went through a lot of hands. It still like probably was read in the shop before it even got sent over. So like it would be like a lower grade than a 9, at least I think. But
and from someone who does a lot of eBay selling, the prices that they're listed for sale differ from like what has been sold. So that the real metric is, they're listing it for 600, but sometimes they only sell for like 250.
Well, here, can I do this though? Can I go through the CGC standard grading scale? I won't do all of them. There's way too many of them, but I'll just do so at 10 is the highest grade assigned. The collectible must have no evidence of any manufacturing or handling defects. A 9.9, the collectible is nearly indistinguishable from a 10, but will have very minor manufacturing defects. It will not have any evidence of handling. 9.8, a near perfect collectible with negligible handling or manufacturing defects. So just to the point of like Bruno saying, these are comics on the floor that are selling for like 400. These like CG Seed 9.8s on eBay, those are like no one ever touched them.
It reminds me of like when manufacturers are making GPUs. It's like a lot of the difference between the high end GPUs and the low end ones literally come down to like manufacture defects on the processing line,
right,
where they have to just test it to see which ones happen to come out good and which ones are bad.
There's just something weird about the stamping machine, and actually every seventh one is the best one. You want that
Absolutely.
You could
seventh.
literally like have never touched it, and it's just like, oops, sorry, they made
Not
this
as
one
good.
bad.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's exactly what it is with these comics, right? So, for example, I mean, sometimes in comics grading, it's very obvious, right? You might get actually something so obvious that it'll make a comic rare, right? Something like if they printed the wrong words in it, or if there's a page upside down that shouldn't be, or something like that. But there might also be some other faults, just like the lettering isn't printed quite as crisply, or like the printer ink was running low when they ran that issue, or like.
Do you guys have any like that? You guys have a lot of comics.
I've got a 9.8 Walking Dead here somewhere.
No, I mean like the ones with the defects on them.
Oh, like those. Yeah. No, they're actually really hard to get because they put out like shred orders now, where like so I have buddies that run comic shops in the area, and I've reached out to them before. We got into a friend of mine.
The guy,
I won't call out his name on the show, but he's the guy I will reach out to and say like, hey, they're putting out a shred order on this book. Do you have one I can get? And he's always like, love you, man. No,
absolutely not.
They'll stop sending me stuff. I'm not allowed to. So they're really hard to get.
I did get a discolored print, but it's a comic called Deviant. It's not really like that much of a big comic, so it was really easy to get from my comic shop over in Wilmington.
Yeah, no, here while we just talk a little bit more Absolute Batman, I'll do a Google in the background here, Bruno, and look up like notorious comic misprints, and that can be what we end on.
I have on a separate but related note, I have No Time to Die theatrical poster with the April 2021 release or 2020 release date before it got
that's really I had 4 separate covers of Absolute Batman when it first came out, like the issue 1. Like I had like 4 variants, or I guess like 3 variants and then a copy of a third variant. But then just a quick funny story that Jack might remember. One of the times that I was coming to visit, we were also seeing our friend Justin, and he's a big fan of Hush, Batman Hush, which was, and like a big reason that he enjoys it is like a lot because of the art. And there was an Absolute Batman issue 1 comic variant by Jim Lee, the same artist who did Hush. And I got that like bagged and boarded like straight out of the shop for him. And I watched him just rip it open right in front of me. And my soul left my body. It was very much like that scene in Across the Spider-Verse of Gwen just taking the like action figure. Oh, this is cool. Rip.
So here I've got some high value comic book misprints for you. So Amazing Spider-Man number 194 had a yellow discoloration error. So the top banner near the CCA stamp was yellowed. So that's worth over $1,000. There is a Fantastic Four number 110 that has a green version error. So again, just like a color miscalibration thing that replaced the blue with green.
Those are both pretty old, right?
Yeah, those are both from the 70s. The Spawn number 1, I think, is probably the most famous version of this. And if any of our listeners were screaming at their phones, they were probably screaming about Spawn number 1, which had a K plate error, which means the copies were missing like a black key plate. So interior artwork details were discolored and kind of looked like ghostly, you can imagine, with not having enough black, especially in like a Spawn.
I feel like that fits with him.
Yeah, right. So, and especially because it was number 1, people might not even have known, right? They might have just thought like,
what a unique style this has.
Well, this is what the book looks like, I guess. Wolverine number 131 in 1999 was recalled and quickly pulled off shelves due to a typesetting accident in a dialogue box. So because that one was pulled off shelves so quickly, it's valued at over $4,000. And then Venom Lethal Protector number 1 has a solid black cover, which is supposed to have like a red foil background. but the red foil is missing. And so ironically, the like cool thing is the thing that's not there. And so by not having, because this, in the early 90s, foil was all the rage on like
holographic cards. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So $5,000 for that Venom Lethal Protector #1 if you just have the all black cover. There's some iconic comic book misprints for you.
Nice.
Anything else we wanted to talk on Absolute Batman before we moved on? If you got it, hold it. I think you're not supposed to sell it yet. That's the advice.
Actually, don't hold it. That's the point. Don't touch it.
Well, definitely don't touch it with your man fingers.
Yeah.
Then you're ruining the whole
man
thing.
hands only.
Whoops. Well, here I go again.
All right, next up, I guess we can go ahead and go to my story, which is Zerbot Bebop Robot News.
Oh my goodness.
Tricked you fools. Told you I was going to do something else in the chat. Had a whole fake cover going. Actually here to talk about robots. Don't know if any of you guys are paying attention, but if you aren't, I'm here to save you. Because it's official, robots can run faster than people now.
I think I saw this.
We had a good run, guys. No pun intended.
I have bad news about cars.
We'll talk about it. For those of you who don't know, sometimes I deem it necessary to save humanity from the oncoming robot apocalypse. I am, of course, the modern-day John Connors. I am the Watcher on the Wall. I am here to save us all from the Terminators of our future past. And this week on Robot News, a robot ran faster than Usain Bolt. And this is very upsetting to me, guys. It's a Superman robot is what it's called. It's made by Unitree.
Was it called Usain Bolt?
No, it's called Superman.
It's called a Superman robot.
This feels like a real couldn't stop thinking about whether or not you could. Didn't stop to think about whether or not you should.
I mean, I did make a joke, but to be clear, this is interesting because it's a bipedal robot.
Yes, this is a robot that is shaped like a guy.
Pretty easy to make a robot that goes faster than people.
Yeah, no, this is a
We're
robot
very
that
close
got
to Terminator here.
2 legs and it be pumping the arms and it got a head that look around and do facial recognition. It can run at 12.66 meters per second, which is roughly 28.3 miles per hour, which is insane.
Don't like that.
For reference, Usain Bolt's peak speed is 12.2 meters per second, which is less than 12.6. And I run slower than Usain Bolt.
That's true.
Most people do, actually.
How many of these robots are there?
Well, so the company is set to start trading on the Shanghai markets this Wednesday. It raised $904 million, which is 6.1 billion yen, in initial public offering last week.
Oh, boy.
So I think they're about to make a lot of them, is the thing. So far, I think they've made like 1 or 2, but it sounds like they're about to make a shit.
I like this idea that you're proposing where, like, well, I'm going to get caught by the Terminator robot, but at least Usain Bolt will be fine. Well, but now it's like, oh, we're all fucked.
Now we're all done. That's the thing. And listen, Jack, I know what you're saying. And yes, I do sort of bring I'm only ever here to account for myself in the robot wars. I don't have to tell people what side they're on. But part of that is, I don't know if you've been on the internet, Jack, but there are men out here who think they can fight bears.
That's true.
So if I'm able to say, no, not even your favorite sprinter and mine, Usain Bolt, can escape the robots, then maybe we'll start to understand the level of the threat that we're facing as a society. You know what I mean?
But also, I don't have to outrun the robots. I just
have to outrun Riley. And again, you will. I'm not fast.
Rule number 1, cardio.
But if they make more than one robot, I think we're cooked, man. The 2026 World Robot Conference is August 19th through August 23rd. It brings together robotics researchers and industry leaders from around the world. And just a few days later, the second World Humanoid Robotics Games will run from August 22nd to August 26th. So the point is, in the next week or two, we're going to get a lot of opportunities to look at Unitree's Superman bot. Last year, Unitree dominated the World Humanoid Robot Games. They got 4 gold medals. They took home gold in the 400-meter dash, the 1,500-meter dash, the 100-meter hurdles, and the 4x100-meter relay. Jesus. So I guess that means there's at least 4 of these things.
This is getting out of hand. Now there's 4 of them. I want
Uh,
Riley to
We're
go to
trying
one
to
of these
do like more
conferences.
positive news
Yeah,
this
we
year.
do need to send me to the World Robotic Games.
I want you to go just so you can report back. And it was like
Just like
10th
the
level,
key in
thousands of battle droids.
I'm sweating.
I'm in
Guys, it's
character.
real bad out here.
I'm in character the whole time. I got the black
The
cloak
thing.
on with the wooden hood. Or so the good news is that we don't necessarily know that Unitree will win this year. The bad news is that if they don't, it's because someone's made a robot that's faster than a robot that's faster than Usain Bolt. So that'll be bad too. During last year's games, one of Unitree's robots reached a top speed of 4.78 meters per second, which gives you a sense of how quickly things have improved. Again, in the course of a year, they've gone from 4.7 to 12.6 meters per second.
Why do we need them to be this fast?
So that they can catch us. That is why. That's the only reason. I come on every time I do this show and I'm like, they're making robots to hurt us with. And you guys are like, he's crazy. And we've been doing this show for so long. And now they run faster than people and have facial recognition technology.
My point
I'm
is
gonna
that
try to get
if they wanted robots to kill us, they wouldn't put them on two legs because that's just terribly inefficient. That's what I'm saying. If they wanted a robot that moved faster than people, they put it on 4 wheels, and they did it 100 years ago.
The U.S. government has also increasingly treated Chinese robots as a national security concern. Last month, the FCC moved to ban imports of foreign-made humanoid and other advanced robots over cybersecurity and supply chain risks. And in this, President Trump and I agree. Keep these Chinese robots out of America.
Well, it's less the national security and more that they want to make sure Musk has
by American.
by Musk, yeah.
Yeah, by South African, I suppose. But yeah. All right. That's robot news. D-Back, should we talk a little bit
getting around how you could get around prohibition by like brewing your own wine, but they're just gonna sell 3-legged robots that you can
Trump is like totally, Bruno, you can cut this out. Trump is like totally in on it. And he's like, doesn't look like a human to me.
It's not humanoid. What do you want?
Yeah, no, I added a note for myself to make sure I get
700% tariff on 3-legged Chinese robots.
Yeah.
Running down the street 1.5 times faster than Usain Bolt, like TARS in Interstellar,
like a horrible centaur.
All right, let's talk about Lanterns, the new prestige drama on HBO Max that is in the DC universe and also features some of our guys. We're going to talk about this.
I don't have any guys.
We'll throw a spoiler warning on here at some point where you can skip ahead if you want to hear D23, but let's start no spoilers. Who has seen Lanterns?
I was telling all of you guys to watch it the other night.
Did we all watch it?
Yeah,
I think so.
Okay, great. I just wanted to confirm. Deepak, yeah, start us off.
Yeah, it's so we premiered I think on Sunday night as of this recording, and this is Tuesday night. It's about a 1-hour pilot, and yeah, it is very True Detective coded. I didn't have time to verify this, but I believe it's directed by the guy who does most of Slow Horses. I didn't get a lot of the Slow Horses vibe from this, which is actually a good thing. I think that show is super repetitive and not very interesting anymore. But yeah, it takes place across primarily, I think, what will be 2 different timelines, but we see 3. We see 96, 2016, and 2026. And the primary central narrative is about Hal Jordan, who is now sort of getting up there in years, played by Kyle Chandler, who is training John Stewart Jr. We find out that John Stewart Sr., I guess, was already preparing his son, is what is sort of hinted at, or kind of read between the lines. He was preparing his son to have no fear from an early age. He was selected by... Yeah, which was a very strange thing to do.
That was interesting.
Father to a son. I was like, please don't do this. But yeah, so John Stewart Jr. has apparently, since before the show has even started, been chosen by the Guardians to be the successor to Hal Jordan as Earth's or Sector 2814's protector. Hal Jordan is told to be the first human Lantern. He tells the backstory about how Abin Sur crashed and selected him, and he became the Green Lantern because he answered the question, "Are you afraid?" with the answer no. They are investigating what seems to be a unfortunately routine mass murder in a small town in Nebraska where 4 people were shot and killed at a local high school football game. Hal is convinced that they are not human, they are aliens, and that this is the start of an invasion of Earth. There is a mystery character played by Garrett Dillahunt, who is married to the character played by Purna Jagannathan. We don't know who he is, but he has taken an interest in Hal and Jon Stewart and is trying to, I guess, help them with what's implied to be nefarious goals of his own, but we don't know yet.
Right.
And that is sort of the table setting until the very end of the episode, where that's the one time in the episode we are spending in 2026, and I'll leave that for the spoiler area. But high level thoughts were it's very good. It's a good start to the show. It's very different, of course, from the Ryan Reynolds movie, which I'm sure is what they were going for. I think it has, although I will say that the characterization, I thought Kyle Chandler was phenomenal as Hal Jordan. He's actually my favorite thing about the episode. And the way that he plays the character, I think, is so true to my understanding of Hal Jordan that I actually kind of could see the Ryan Reynolds version of this character growing up into becoming the Kyle Chandler version of this character. I know that's not what they had in mind or what they want at all.
Yeah.
But
Right.
yeah, so anyway, I'll turn it over to you guys now, but I thought it was pretty good.
Well, okay. Well, I'll go next. I liked it a
Bruno,
lot.
please go ahead.
I liked it a lot. Very much like Deepak. I saw a lot. I think a lot of people saw a lot of True Detective in this, but I also saw like quite a bit of Fargo in it as well, especially when it comes to like the whole buddy comedy of it all between the two main characters.
There's a couple of No Country for Old Men actors, which also helps that.
I saw people complaining about that on Reddit, being like,
On
can't
Reddit?
believe they cast the yeah, right. But being like, come on, it's very cool and good.
Yeah.
How is it? How is it
they can get
possible?
actors of that caliber? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Right. And like that's another thing too. Like also like the whole supporting cast is great as well in this. Like everyone that we've seen so far, like out of the supporting characters, like they're not like making the sole focus on like the two leads. There are stuff in there like to dig up about like who these people are or what they are and like what they're up to. So I'm very intrigued by it all. Like once again, avoiding spoilers, I was very like pulled in by like the 2026 part of it and wondering how that's gonna pick up, especially already knowing that Aaron Pierre is going to be in Man of Tomorrow. I believe that's already been confirmed.
Yeah, that's what I was asking Riley the other night. I think they said that.
I think so too. I have liked the characterization a lot so far. I think that's the thing that I really want to focus on. Being a bigger DC fan than a Marvel fan, some of the like comic book culture of the last 20 years has sometimes been tricky for me because like I have learned the Marvel comic book canon sort of the way that a student learns history, right? Like studying so that I can understand and be a part of the thing. And because I know people are going to come to me and ask like, who's Thanos? So I'm like, better figure out who Thanos is. But DC Comics are like where I really lived when I was a kid and like where my preferences are. So seeing characters like the Green Lantern Corps.
Right.
Yeah, right. Seeing characters like Selena Kyle, seeing characters like Harley Quinn, seeing characters. Getting Jon Stewart, on screen in live action for the first time ever was very, very exciting to me as a kid. Growing up watching the Justice League animated show. And then, of course, I've always loved Hal Jordan, right? Like Hal Jordan, just such a cool guy. But the way that I have always thought about those two characters as a reader of the comics is that sort of Hal Jordan is like the Green Lantern that doesn't really need a ring. Like if you just put if you put Hal Jordan in a jet, he'll be fine. Like he doesn't like the ring is obviously helpful, but like he'll use the ring to make a better jet, right? Like you can just put him in a jet and he's just Maverick. Whereas Jon Stewart, and we can talk a little bit about this before we close the story out. I have some examples I would love to share, but Jon Stewart, I think, is the greatest user of the Lantern power ring in the comics, sort of period, bar none. Not even within just the green spectrum. Like I think Jon Stewart is one of the greatest users of power rings in general, and even beyond that, because he's able to use some of the Lantern power without even having a ring, which is insane. But that's like he's like a gene level mutant of Green Lanterns.
Hmm.
So the dynamic of Hal having a ring and John not having a ring is very, very entertaining to me so far. I'm liking it a lot, but I feel like where their characters are works for like how I understand them. I'm just like itchy. I'm like, can we just get that over onto the other guy, please? Like, I'd be
Yeah.
but that's like what the story of this show is going to be about. So I'm excited for that.
Not enough green, I think.
It's not green enough. It's almost like it's going to be a narrative thrust of the show, Jack.
No, yeah, I definitely agree. I think the who has the ring and when is going to be important. I think the the reveal at the end of this episode is very interesting, especially with some of what they set up with the hologram earlier in the episode. I think will maybe be most of what we see of Hal Jordan for this show, which could be interesting. But in general, I'm pretty hooked. I've always, I've not been a big hater of this show or the DCU. I feel like in the way that the internet has recently, it's been reactionary, obviously these days, but ever since a month ago when Supergirl came out, everybody decided that the DCU was doomed.
Cooked. Done.
It feels like everyone's sort of turning around now that the latest thing put in front of them has been good.
Warner Brothers hiring Zack Snyder back as we speak.
No one hates DC more than its own fans. There's two big things I'm looking forward to the show doing. I guess are we going to transition into spoilers now?
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Sure.
The first is I really am looking forward to how this Green Lantern show reconciles with the Guy Gardner of it all, knowing that Earth has Guy Gardner in the Superman movie, but apparently at the same time, there was either Hal Jordan and or Jon Stewart in some capacity. And the second thing I would love to see, I think we're going to see at some point, and Riley and I were talking about this offline a lot, who the Garrett Dillahunt character is, the father-in-law character who owns the Reds.
Right.
Everybody is talking about online, in real life. Everyone I have interacted with about this show is talking about the weird ages of the well-moneyed family.
Yeah, grandmother and grandfather. Yeah.
I think it's meant to raise eyebrows.
Yeah, as you pointed out, something going on there. Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen.
Do we have theories?
Is Jon Stewart not allowed to enjoy a MILF every now and then?
Yeah, smash the chick from Deli Belly. Who cares? Let's go.
I mean, I was automatically just thinking aliens, pretty much, which I believe was what everybody else has been thinking.
If those of us who've watched the trailers are aware that shape-shifting aliens are going to...
Well, let's talk about this.
I was shocked that Riley hadn't seen the trailer, so he was
completely
caught off guard when I said some stuff.
I hadn't seen the trailers, but also I have come to understand that the word manhunter is maybe thrown around a little bit in the trailer.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I would just like everyone to be aware that while your good buddy and mine, John Jones, is indeed the manhunter from Mars, there is a different kind of fictional race known as manhunters in the DC Comics universe. Zerbot Bebop ROBOTNEWS, they're a bunch of robots. And they are made by the Guardians of the Universe as an interstellar police force version 1.0. They get sent out to sort of keep peace in the universe and then turn evil. And the Guardians of the Universe go, oh shit, time to get a bunch of Green Lanterns. And that's why the Green Lanterns exist.
They're like the prototype to the Green Lanterns.
Yes, they're a bad prototype to the Green Lanterns made by a bad, evil Guardian of the Universe. But neither here nor there. My point is just that like they might be closer to, if we're living in Green Lantern mythos, those manhunters might be kind of more what we're talking about. Now, if you're Lindelof and Tom King, if you're Damon Lindelof and friend of the show, Tom King, do you say, hey, do we merge these two guys into sort of one idea to be easier for a general audience? I think that's totally possible.
That's what I think.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of explaining to do at the beginning of your DC, but you are correct about the facts.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess what I'm just saying is that there's only one Martian Manhunter, and his name's John Jones. There's not like if
The
we're
race of
talking
Martian
manhunters,
Yeah.
right? If that's what we're talking about, then I think we're talking
You're
about
absolutely correct. It's
evil
not that
robots.
John Jones's race of people are going to be coming and
Yeah.
trying to fuck up the Green Lanterns.
Yeah, no, not at all that. So I'd be very excited for John Jones to show up in this show, but if Manhunters is out there, I think
It would be pretty cool if he showed up and was like, "Hey, but not me, though."
Hey, no, I'm a different thing. Actually,
That's what when we were talking about it on Discord and we were razzing each other the other night. That's why I brought up like, oh, it'll end with him in the last scene of the last episode.
Yeah, no,
That's,
100%.
Right.
that's what I thought they were building towards.
And then they cancel the DCU again, and then it's one more version of live action DCU where we get Martian Manhunter right at the end.
Well, going to the Garrett. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say we don't have any actual other than them saying Manhunters. Like,
right now,
we have no plans of Martian Manhunter being involved in anything at any point, do we? That's not been mentioned.
They've expanded so much so quickly.
It would not be out of character for them.
No.
There has been like the sort of like details like in the background that you could catch in like Superman and other things that like leads to believe that they're working on Manhunter in the background, but nothing like official. Martian Manhunter, excuse me, pardon.
No casting.
Does the Martian Manhunter fit into is he a god or a monster? Probably a monster, right?
I think
he's definitely a monster.
He's a monster until they know that he's probably working with good intentions. Yeah. I think they kind of treat him the way that Zack Snyder treated the Henry Cavill Superman in the first one, which is, we don't know what he is. But going to the father-in-law character, the Garrett Dillahunt character, my initial, I went through a wave of like theories about who he was just in that first episode. The first was, maybe he is secretly John Jones or John Jones in human form,
William Natan,
protecting the Earth. Then the second thing I thought was, he's part of some paramilitary group that's actually found the Abin Sur crash site and is protecting it, and he's built that ranch all around it to kind of hide it. Then my third theory, which is the one I'm sticking with now, is not mine. It came from Reddit, which was someone saying, he's very obviously Vandal Savage.
That's the one that I was going to bring up. Like I also saw, we saw even the exact same.
We probably did, yeah.
Yeah.
So the sort of stuff we're working with right now is that Abin Sur died in this general area. Right?
About 20 miles from that bar or whatever is what he said.
And did they establish it that it was in 1986, or is that just something that fans are piling together?
I don't think they said it was
10-year gap.
They didn't say about the year that it happened. They just said the location.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also think that there might just be thematically something that is worth talking about, which is that if, whether or not anything is happening in this area that has to do with aliens, I think, is one thing, right? As we said, the guy associated with this mass shooting at this football game seems to have been an extraterrestrial threat. So there definitely is something going on here, right? One thing that I know we have seen in some of the coming attraction, the promotional material, I don't know if it was in the trailer or if it was just like in press photos or what, but Sinestro is out there, right?
Yeah, he is. He was in the trailer.
So
he's out there in the sense that I think he has been captured. He is like he's like a Hannibal Lecter.
But so for those who maybe are less familiar, Sinestro is associated with the Yellow Lanterns, who the way that Green Lanterns are about willpower, Yellow Lanterns are about fear. I wonder if, especially since those are so antithetical to each other and the way that the show is kind of being set up, like, is Hal somehow like afraid of being replaced?
Yeah, for sure.
That is the vibe of the little snippet in the trailer. It's that it's like the Batman interrogating the Joker, or like Thor interrogating Loki, sort of thing.
To, like, corrupt him.
But that also, by the way, implies that it happens in 2016, given that, spoiler now, I guess Hal's dead at the end of the 2026.
Well, so I guess that's what it is. If we're trying to figure out what happens to Hal, is part of what happens to Hal that Sinestro, Sinestro takes over him or something, right? This idea that like he's got a guy in waiting to like take his spot has some, he doesn't wear the uniform anymore, right? Like they're really talking about like how Hal's been beaten down over the years. And so I'm just curious to see sort of like how that fear aspect and some of that other more complicated stuff maybe gets involved.
That is the dialogue exchange, right? It said, you don't actually believe he's there to be your like assistant, right? And he says,
he's my replacement.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Bruno, The first line is in 1996. The reporter on 60 Minutes says, 10 years ago, no one on Earth was aware we were already under the protection of someone calling himself Green Lantern. So Hal was the Green Lantern by 1986, but we don't necessarily know that was the year that it started.
Good to know. Good to know.
Is that the year? Did the Superman movie say when the para-humans became known, and that that
I'm
opening
sure
kind of Star
some
Wars
math to
text?
make that a solved problem.
It was like 3 decades ago.
Yeah,
3
it
years
definitely
ago.
did. Yeah,
It was in 2025, so it would have been in 1995.
Yeah, again, hop in our comments and give us the details here. But it definitely, Deepak, you're right, laid out a very clear timeline of like 30 years. Because it was like 30 years ago, Superman got here.
Yeah, it was like 3 decades ago, 3 years, 3 hours ago.
And then, 3 minutes ago, Clark got his clock cleaned by Clone Clark.
Yeah.
If you want to dig in more on my theories about what might be happening to Hal Jordan, and you're not averse to Wikipedia theory-based spoilers, search up Parallax. You want to look for the Guardians of the Galaxy character Parallax. Or pardon me, not the Guardians of the Galaxy, the Green Lantern character.
Yeah, just watch the 2011 Green Lantern movie with Parallax.
The Green Lantern movie character Parallax. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to talk about everything that happened at D23. Welcome back, and we're going to talk about D23. So much stuff happened. We got to look at the new X-Men. They're also young and hot, and one of them loves me so much. Also, there's a Doomsday trailer. There's a Star Wars thing. I can do I have my bobblehead coming soon. I'm just going to have her. She's just going to live right there.
Oh, it's not Adam Driver?
Yeah, no, I refer to my Adam Driver.
Because you're one of the 8 people who saw
email.
Megalopolis in theaters, so I thought he loved you.
And I got to talk to him. I asked him a question. What do we want to start with? We should probably build up to X-Men. Let's not start there.
We got our first sort of look at Star Wars Starfighter. I know and I hate that I'm the one bringing up Star Wars.
Deepak Star Wars Corner. We're doing all the segments this week.
Star Wars Corner.
Oh God, it's like one big happy. We're all back now. We've gotten some behind the scenes photo, namely like Ryan Gosling on the water or something. We got like a actual, what is presumably a picture or a still from the movie, which is some sort of a water planet. It almost looks like Naboo, but we don't know what it is yet. And then we did get an official teaser poster, which is just the typical starry background, Star Wars, the old kind of like 80s slanted yellow Star Wars logo with Starfighter emblazoned across the middle. So not a whole lot there. But I guess the big news about that movie is apparently Ryan Gosling and Sean Levy get along really, really well. Disney must be really, really confident in it because they've hired the same 2 people to shepherd Ghost Rider, which we found out about at Comic-Con.
Same screenwriter too, by the way.
This is absolutely my takeaway is that Disney has just decided that they are in the Ryan Gosling business, huh?
Is that a bad business?
Have you seen
I mean,
numbers?
I think that's why, Jack. I think that they saw the box office returns coming in, and they already had him signed on to one thing, and they were like, "Let's double down."
Yeah, I'll happily admit that Ghost Rider bumped Starfighter from the bottom half to the top half of my 2027 watch list.
That's interesting. I still haven't seen.
I mean, if
Project Hail Mary.
if it's a movie that gets made in the Star Wars world, I will count it as a win.
I definitely think this one has more of a chance to go the distance. It seems, like it's mostly on its way there. I wonder what it means for the future of the Star Wars franchise. I don't necessarily need there to be good Star Wars movies, but I think it's interesting that like Sean Levy as a director doesn't necessarily fill me with hope that we're moving back towards Lucas's initial idea of what it looked like Kurosawa.
I think they're going to Marvelize it even further, and I know they tried to do that with the shows, and obviously Mandalorian being sort of the climax of that. I mean, no one's going to go to the theater to watch the season finale of a TV show, so I get that, but I think what Starfighter will hopefully do, what Disney and Lucasfilm is hoping Starfighter does is it lays the groundwork for a new trilogy of these spinoffs. And then that becomes our next sort of big thing to look forward to every 2 or 3 years is Ryan Gosling back in the cockpit.
But then that's the thing. Do we see Ryan Gosling committing to multiple Star Wars movies as well as multiple Marvel movies with him also signing up to be Ghost Rider?
I think every actor right now would love to have a franchise that they can keep a constant stream coming from. I think Disney is amenable to, if Ghost Rider does well, we don't necessarily do a Ghost Rider standalone. We just have him show up for token appearances and stuff. or maybe Gosling dies at the end of Starfighter, hands it off to the young co-star, but he comes back
Right.
as Force Ghost or whatever, right? So
Okay.
they can work that out. But that is a good point.
I think that it is probably more likely that Gosling returns for multiple Marvel movies at this point than that he does multiple Star Wars. Not to jump panels. I know we're kind of in one story, but we have partitioned it a little bit. But I think that a Midnight Suns thing is basically a done deal at this point, right? I mean, if there is any kind of future, it seems like Marvel is into teams, right? I think that's what the X-Men success is showing, is that we're moving in the teams direction, that we want multiple teams, that the sort of Avengers era showed us that unless we can get a bunch of guys together, nobody cares. And so Midnight Suns seems like a somewhat obvious thing to at least keep on the table if you can, if you're Marvel right now. And Bruno, help me out here, but the Midnight Suns roster is most typically Blade, Doctor Strange, Ghost Rider,
Moon Knight,
and then it could
Spider-Man.
be
and
Moon
Daredevil.
Knight, Spider-Man, Daredevil. The fourth slot is usually interchangeable. Like I think Wolverine
Punisher?
has been it as well. Punisher.
Yeah. But so these
Um,
street level, but
right.
sort of adjacent to paranormal activity, New York centric heroes, right? And so I think Ghost Rider slots in there so cleanly.
Mhm.
And it would also be a very good way of like course correcting from Blade.
Right. Whether or
And
not you
the
get
situation
Mahershala,
that happened there.
in the future, you could slot in a different Blade, or you could kick Blade, get Spider-Man in there, and then do two others. I mean, you have options. So
Yeah, they have enough that they could, and almost you might as well just make it Spider-Man 5 at that point. You can throw in whoever. You need to.
right. Yeah, so you throw Gosling in Spider-Man 5, right? I mean, that's again
there's
just my point.
$3 billion right there. Yeah.
I think Ryan Gosling is long in the Marvel universe at this point. So that's Star Wars. I think that was all of Star Wars, right? I mean, it was really just Starfighter.
There was also a thing for Ahsoka, the next season of Ahsoka,
that's
which
right.
revealed that Hayden Christensen is coming back again for
that's pretty cool.
For some more flashback scenes. So that like definitely got some hype up for that show. I believe for Star Wars that is most of it.
Okay, all right.
On a quick non-nerd franchise thing, they did show a quick animatic of the next Simpsons movie, is what they're calling it.
I think this is nerdy. Yeah, animation. Yeah.
It came out. It's going to come out next year on the 20th anniversary of the first Simpsons movie, which is crazy.
It's only for cool guys.
Everyone's complaining about how the show is dog shit now, but the show was pretty bad when the last movie came out. The last movie still rips, so I'm going to be optimistic about this one too.
And like I saw the little clip of the animatic of the baseball game. It looks really fun. Like it looks exactly like what I was hoping from a Simpsons movie.
I kind of watched it on mute, but it looked like another father-son sort of movie. It's Homer and Bart kind of figuring out their relationship, which is cool.
Right,
so
it might be.
It'll be fun to see that now, 20 years later, from a different perspective.
So Simpsons 2, the new Simpsons movie coming to theaters September.
Is it the new? Okay, that was the next.
Yeah.
It's the new Simpsons movie, and that is dated September 3rd, 2027. Right now, people anticipate that Toy Story 5 will hit Disney Plus late September or October. Deepak, which one do you see first, Toy Story 5 or the Simpsons movie?
I mean, I haven't even seen Toy Story 4. I'll be so lost.
But you have a child.
But Toy Story, why would I watch Toy Story 5 if it's on Disney Plus? I mean,
fair enough.
You mean Shrek 5?
Well, okay, hold on now. Will Shrek 5 be on Disney Plus?
No. I mean, if you're asking what my first movie is that I take him to the movie theater, it's trending towards more. I don't even think he's gonna be old enough by Shrek 5. So
no, I think we're punting. I think it's Cat in the Hat 2 at this point. Kingdom Hearts TV show. What does this even mean, and how does it relate to the idea of another Kingdom Hearts game? And do I need to keep playing those Final Fantasy remakes to understand any of it?
I mean, almost certainly not. The Final Fantasy characters haven't appeared in the Kingdom Hearts games for a long time.
Okay.
Many fans' chagrin. But honestly, not a lot is known other than that it is being made, and it will be released on both the Disney Channel and Disney Plus.
Jack, if I want to appear like not a peer, but if I want to make it clear to people that I am a hip and with it person who respects all races, should I say anime or anime? I mean, what am I doing here?
I've always said anime.
Okay.
Isn't it Japanimation?
Yeah.
So
you
it's going to
should
be a
definitely say
tune.
Japanimation.
It's going to be a tune show, is what you're saying.
So the blurb that was released along with the poster is developed in partnership with video game creator Tetsuya Nomura and the creative team at Square Enix. The series will reimagine the iconic adventure with a brand new story that expands out the universe of Kingdom Hearts while celebrating the characters that have captured the hearts of millions of fans around the world.
So if
If
people
you played any Kingdom Hearts games, you'll know that it'll be some weird parallel universe bullshit that gets tied into the fourth game and will be like vital to understanding the plot of the game.
This is Sora's
So I'm
grandpa.
sure-
He's also Mickey's cousin.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's gonna be something like that.
these games are strange. They always have been. It's sort of insane to me that they're still happening after the third one felt like such a conclusive end to the series.
This is what Deepak said about Toy Story.
It always felt like pulling teeth. Like
Hmm.
I don't know. It just feels like so antithetical to Disney's entire philosophy and reason for existing. But I'm glad, I guess, that they still want to make it. Like I would prefer that Kingdom Hearts exists to it not.
Yeah,
I don't know
I'm
whatever
100%.
insane shit this will be.
Yeah, I'm 100% on board with Jack. I kind of agreed that it is weird for them to be doing a fourth game after Kingdom Hearts 3. However, Kingdom Hearts 3 was kind of disappointing in my opinion. So maybe they are trying to course correct from that.
Last game came out in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
I see 2020
Couple of
Melody of Memory.
spin-offs in 2020. Yeah, I think those were like a what do you call it? Dance Revolution style like game. I think it was just sort of the
it
IP.
was probably a spin-off game.
Right.
But I'm interested to see if the new game and the show have any linkages, or if these are just totally different directions.
I
They're
would
clearly,
be shocked if they didn't.
yeah, right. It seemed that's sort of the Kingdom Hearts move is to link them up in a way. But we'll see how much Disney indulges their worst impulses here.
Especially if Nomura is like actively involved in development, like they say.
If someone else can take the lead on talking about the Doomsday trailer for a minute, I can kind of get my Parks thoughts together.
All right, Deepak's got it.
Yeah, go for it.
It looks cool.
He's a good voice. He sounds very spooky when he talks.
It's the same trailer they showed at San Diego Comic-Con. They're just now releasing it for us commoners. And it's cool.
Deepak became a kid again.
Yeah, I mean, I was with you. It was I was sort of like, oh yeah, good.
Yeah, it's Doomsday. Doom does the superhero landing, and we get to see Channing Tatum's Gambit again, and Shang-Chi is back for the first time since we last saw him. And
Woo!
we got all our old
Everybody's
buddies,
died.
all our Patrick Stewarts and Ian McKellens and Jason Marsdens and all of
McKellen's
them.
got the helmet on. McKellen's
Got
got
the
the helmet
helmet.
on.
He's
That
got
was
the
cool.
mullet too. It's
Well, yeah,
it's-
they're playing chess. He's not going to let Charles get in there while they're
right,
playing
yeah, let
chess.
him win. Yeah, right.
They're going to be playing chess while the whole world is burning down around them. They're going to be playing chess when the multiverse collapses. The main takeaway from this is that this establishes more than obviously the Fantastic Four movie did, that there is a prior relationship between the Fantastic Four characters and Victor Von Doom.
Right.
Sue talks about how he was always the smartest man in the room, but then he lost his wife and son, and that kind of broke him. And that we knew he was lost. We didn't know
Is
he was
that
broken.
Sue?
That is Sue.
Yeah.
We do see her saying at least part of it. I don't know what they're
Right.
clever editing. There's a pretty significant shot where we sort of see most, if not all, of the Avengers, kind of the various like Wakandans and the Fantastic
Mhm.
Four and the New Avengers and Cap and all them in a room of some sort. I think it's the same room at the end of Thunderbolts where the New Avengers see the ship coming in. There are some noticeable gaps in that lineup, one of which at the middle is presumably could be Doom, or one of we've seen now pictures of the Three Witches. We've seen the pictures of a potential Doombot with a thing on his head, which is presumably going to be Third Eye Doctor Strange,
Right.
who is operating under an alias to be
Boris.
determined. Boris, yeah. So there's a lot of cool stuff there. There's, we've seen the first glimpse of Reed talking to Doom. Victor, did you do this in the rubble of what is presumably
I thought
a
that was
destroyed?
really compelling.
That was
I
really
don't-
compelling. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
not usually good acting in the Marvel trailers.
Mm.
Like that's not usually what they.
That's
choose
not
to
their
focus on
priority. Yeah. It's
in
their-
advertising the films.
right.
And just seeing, I mean, everybody on this show loves Pedro Pascal.
Right.
But we see him a lot, and he's in some stuff, and sometimes he's in stuff that he's not actually that much, and we have fun with that.
Yeah.
Watching him fucking go for it in that trailer gave me chills. I was like,
Victor,
oh,
did
this
you
is
do
gonna
this?
be really
Yeah.
good.
Especially because like it is in contrast to something that like his wife was saying like at the beginning of this trailer. So like that was really good as well.
Yeah.
The idea of him living, he says you've all been living stolen lives. Of course, Sue is someone who was brought back from the dead. The X-Men have been brought back from the dead a million times. Cap, of course, has been living probably in a universe he's not supposed to be in. And then, of course, the big thing that they emphasize the children again in the trailer.
We see a lot of the kids.
His daughter, Cap, and his son, Cassie, and Ant-Man, Franklin, and I think Johnny's holding him at one point.
That could be why Thor's daughter was taken, because like she was going to die at the end of Love and Thunder before like eternity or whatever.
I think that the kid stuff is becoming really apparently important. I'm curious, the thing that we still don't have an answer on, and we will not have an answer on until we all go see this movie, is what the Tony of it means, right? And if what's her name, Morgan?
Morgan,
the daughter,
little girl, the cheeseburger girl.
Yes,
if she's gonna factor into this at all, and to what degree, we've of course seen like a lot of Doom imagery with his wife, his mom. How are they?
It looks like a wife and son is what I see. But yeah, obviously in the comics, the mom has some importance.
Yeah, right.
I'm sorry. Please remind me really quick, Riley. Is there a cheeseburger thing with Morgan? Because that like turns a lot of gears in my head for Secret Wars.
She talks at the funeral about Happy's talking to her at the funeral.
Happy talks to her about when
she's like, I want a cheeseburger, and he's like, your dad loves cheeseburger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Still interesting, but okay.
It was not the clearest pick for me to make. But yeah, I
love you 3000 is probably
I love you 3000 is sort of the touch point most people use for that kid. So I'm interested to see. I thought that the Doom accent was good, and I liked that they advertised that he is a magic based character so early on.
Yes.
Like they have previous iterations of this character have not leaned into the magic component of him. No. And I am excited that we will hopefully be seeing him as like the sorcerer supreme of his universe or whatever.
I like that they put the countdown in all of.
You're a big fan of the countdown.
I think it's the best advertising they've done in a long time.
They're like Dune nothing. It's Doomsday, baby. That day is
an Infinity Vision.
Every time I've gone to see a movie in theaters, I'm like, oh yeah, that's how long it is.
So we got a look at some park stuff that we can just really quickly buzz around. We got some new updates on Villain Land. Cruella de Vil came out, and in the form of Glenn Close, which was exciting. I guess Emma Stone was busy. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
And she announced that if Maleficent's getting a ride, she wants a ride too. So that was exciting. There was an update about Figment, everyone's favorite little purple dragon, who is sort of the unofficial mascot of Epcot, who has been unfortunately sidelined for the last couple of years. It seems like he is gonna be he and the Yeti animatronic on Expedition Everest are both getting a little bit of a refresh, so we're hoping to see them soon. There's some new Tomorrowland stuff coming that has been like long promised, so it seems like there's like a LA Tomorrowland refresh that looks exciting. It's Josh D'Amaro's first D23. He was the head of parks, and now he's the head of the whole thing, so you never really know with that like how much parks is going to feature into the main presentation. But I felt like there was more, hey, we're actually doing stuff in this parks presentation than there has been in the past. Like, I feel like in the past, the Disney parks presentation at D23 will be like, we're going to open a parking garage. And do you know that space behind Space Mountain? Well, maybe one day, if you imagine enough, that wish can come true. And this time they were like, no, we're improving Tomorrowland. Here's how. So,
how old is the Star Wars land?
When did that old Star Wars? That was
the last major.
Was that 2019? Did they really step in it that hard? Was it a 2019 or Jackson?
I almost said 2014.
No.
No. It was not.
I think it was like
after
late.
the series.
not
May 31st, 2019.
Yee.
Yeah, and then California in August 2019. So that is part of why that hasn't been as successful, is that they've been waiting for everybody to reboot off of COVID.
Right.
But that was the last sort of major, like, because you said it feels like they're doing things now. So,
Yes, that was the last big thing that they did. And then since then, Universal has sort of moved in and had all of their Dark
Mario
Universe
and all
stuff.
that.
Well, the Mario expansion and the How to Train Your Dragon thing won awards. But the thing that people really talk about down there is the monster stuff. So this villain park that they're building up, that's going to have a Maleficent ride and apparently a Cruella ride, and lots of rumors about like a Yzma thing.
Pull the lever, Kronk.
Exactly. It is for a pull the lever Kronk style moment. That is the whole reason they're doing that ride. Those are all in response to like a dark universe success.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Should we do X-Men?
Well, I know.
Yeah.
Let's do the cast, D-Back. This has been a long time coming. When was it? I'm Googling D-Back. When was it that...
You won't like what you find.
when your list that you published, this should be the...
Oh, that was
MCU
probably around May 31st, 2019.
Oh, was it in that same happening?
Yeah.
And now we know who it's going to be. Now we finally have names. So,
and I went 0 for like 8 or whatever it is.
Yeah, well, most of these people were still in like elementary school when you wrote that. So Sadie Sink will of course be Jean Grey.
Yes.
As we all learned from the Spider-Man movie.
$2 billion movie.
Christopher Abbott is playing Charles Xavier. We have a 40-year-old Xavier.
What is he in?
Wolfman.
He was in Wolfman. He was also in Kraven the Hunter. He was one of the antagonists in Kraven the Hunter.
I did not stay away.
That's okay. You don't need. You shouldn't. Don't go. Don't do it.
I did try.
Yeah.
Was he in Poor Things? I think that might be.
He was in Poor Things. That is another one. Yeah.
So I did see Wolfman, but okay, he's an interesting choice. I thought they wanted to make a bigger splash with that one, and I'm not saying he's a bad actor or that he's a bad choice. He's just not who I was expecting.
Many of these picks do not seem like they are designed to garner attention in that way, right? I mean, Samara Weaving as Emma Frost and Adam Driver as Sinister, who would probably be a one movie thing. Like, those are the most famous names in this cast, right?
And even then, I think the biggest splash out of this is probably Indy Navarrete or
that's
Kit
what I was
Connor.
going to say.
Yes.
Yeah, I think because she's the hot new ingenue.
Yeah.
Right. But she's been in one thing and it was a genre-y thing, and it had despite its box office, she was been in a movie that had a budget of less than $1 million, right?
Right.
She was in Adventures of Superman and Lois for a while. But the funny thing is, I don't know if they talked about this at South by Riley, but there was talk of the studio holding back Obsession to closer to like now for like spooky season. If that had happened, she's not Rogue.
No.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Kit Connor is playing Scott Summers, aka the Cyclops. I think it is worth mentioning and saying out loud what I have been seeing a lot of people comment on online, that it would have sort of been inconceivable when the MCU was getting started for the leader of the team to have been an openly gay man. It's very cool that we live in a time when nobody really thinks about that. Yeah, they just
that's cool.
Cast him to play Cyclops, and they're like, great, you're good at this. So I think that that's neat. I also think that the X-Men in particular as like a property is about, oppressed people sort of trying to fight against those circumstances. So I think that that's cool. I wasn't very familiar with him. I don't know that I have seen...
I have seen him only
Warfare, which I think is sort of the big thing he's done.
That, and he wore a suit at one point, so he was thrown around.
So he was on the Bond radar. Yeah,
and
sure.
Then,
you can't be putting on a tie, man. That'll get you.
He was like the big thing that I saw him in, and like what most people call out to, like as his breakout role, is Heartstopper, which was a show. And like it's also worth noting that like his co-star on that, whose name I'm blanking on, I'm so sorry, is already in the MCU as an already pre-established mutant in Billy Wiccan, one Maximus Fun. So it's just like that. It's just interesting that there's already like that connection there that they could play on if they want to at some point.
Yeah, I read the first 2 of the Heartstopper books. I liked those. I never got around to the Netflix show, but I should check that out to familiarize myself with the young Cyclops' style.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what I should watch for Christopher Abbott because I can't figure it out. Like, what's the best thing to watch for him?
Yeah. Sure.
He was. I'm thinking back on Wolfman now. He was. I mean, the movie was whatever. He was fine. Like, yeah,
he's in Black Bear, which came out during COVID, and I think was like underseen because of that.
Black Bear. Why does that sound familiar?
It was Aubrey Plaza's in it. And actually, he's I think dating Aubrey Plaza now. I don't know. I assume that's where they met, right. But it's on. Where can you stream it? It premiered at Sundance, so that's all I'm finding out on.
Oh, I'm thinking of Black Bag, the Soderbergh movie. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. different thing. Yeah. Finally, we should also mention that we were all excited to see who was cast as Storm because we had seen that Ryan Coogler was going to have casting kind of discretion over Storm because she would be appearing in Black Panther 3 before she made her debut in X-Men. And the answer is Maya Boyd, who I think is incredible casting for Storm.
It's also not true because Black Panther 3 is scheduled to come out later in the same year.
They might be shooting it first.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I have no idea what the logic is of it, but I just had seen that he was, maybe.
Well, I'm not complaining about Coogler having input on anything. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Oh, totally agree.
Right.
My theory is that all the X-Men get their own standalone movies in between X1 and X2, so maybe Coogler's on tap to direct Storm. Who knows? But she is in. She did Merrily We Roll Along on Broadway with Jonathan Groff and Daniel Radcliffe. Oh. She did And Juliet, which the revival of hold on, let me get one thing at a time. She was in a revival of this August Wilson play, Joe Turner Come and Gone, which you can imagine, like if you're doing an August Wilson play while people are casting for prominent Black superheroes, you might get some notices. But yeah, I mean, she seems like she's got the perfect right energy. She seemed, with alongside our new Black Panther, who we should also talk about. She looked really. She looked, perfect in that role. I am excited to see the Black Panther Storm romance brought to the screen, and excited to see how that fits into the future plans for both those franchises. I think this is a very cool casting.
I kind of want to. Do we want to talk about who's not been announced? Like we don't have Magneto.
There's no Magneto.
We don't have Wolverine, which I'm actually fine with. Like let's let Wolverine rest. Let's let Cyclops be the leader of the team. Let's give everyone else a chance to shine a little bit before Taron Egerton or Daniel Radcliffe or whoever comes in. Right. I don't know. I'm trying to think of who else we would typically expect to get.
Well,
I do think we're still going to get some.
There's
more
no new
casting
Mystique
announced.
Yeah,
at some point.
Okay. Here, let me give you 2 curveballs here. Do we think Adam Driver is really playing Mr. Sinister?
Yes, because like you said, a one movie thing. I don't know that he's someone who sticks around for a while. The only caveat, of course, being my previous comment that every actor likes a franchise, and Disney has refused to let him do Ben Solo anymore. So
the specific way in which he announced it was fucking weird, but I do think he's being Mr. Sinister.
We have talked a lot on this show about the difficulties that Marvel is going to face with the Magneto character in the future, right?
Right.
And they have now locked
because
themselves
of the Holocaust of it all?
Right. Mm-hmm. They have now cast a 40-year-old actor to play Charles Xavier in 2027, right?
Right.
And in the MCU, that's 2050 now or whatever, right? Because they're always a couple years in the future. It's just they either need to, at the situation they have found themselves in is they either need to find, and unfortunately they can take their pick of the many cultural atrocities that take place around the world that Magneto could be from.
Right.
Or they need to decide that he's the grandson of a Holocaust survivor or something like that, right? I think that either of those things have a lot of problems. It is also possible that mutants live forever or something stupid like that. But I think that one of the options that you may have is Adam Driver, right? Like if you wanted to go with a more traditional seeming Magneto, right? If you didn't want to like scoop a Magneto out of the Sudan genocide or something like that, right? Adam Driver might be someone that you might look at and say, oh, he could play Magneto. He could play what people expect Magneto to be. And so just him being in the mix and then being like, no, he's this other bad guy.
Right.
I was sort of just like giving that a sideways look. But Bruno, I know this is always a topic you want to hop in on.
Well, like, but yeah, like you do make a good point, at least when the Adam Driver at all, because like he, like, at least for the people who don't know at home, he did announce it like at D23, like I'm playing Magneto, and then he waited for the crowd to die down, and he was like, oh wait, no, I'm actually playing Nathaniel Milbury. It was very weird and awkward in my opinion.
It was.
Was he trying to make a joke that just didn't land?
In my opinion, yeah, he was kind of just doing a joke that didn't land. He did like the whole bit where like someone calls to him off camera to give him the correction. But which also kind of just paints a bad picture on the production of it all. Like, okay, so he doesn't have an idea of who he's playing. I
think they were just trying to be too cute by playing into the fan expectations. And then, you think it's Xavier and Magneto? Nope, it's Mr. Sinister. Yeah, but
when it comes to the Magneto problem and a possible solution to it, at least what I've always thought would be the easiest solution to it, which I don't know if they're going to do now. It really depends on how this Professor X comes out in this like X-Men movie. Is just time displace the two of them, and it doesn't need to be the whole X-Men. You could just have like. Just Magneto and Charles are like caught up in something that like they were originally in the 90s and now they got thrown at their age in the 90s like into the 2020s, and that's when Xavier goes and starts up the school. That's when Magneto goes and starts up the Brotherhood. I've always thought that would be the easiest way to go about this, especially because like if you're thinking about like all the social commentaries that comes with X-Men, if Magneto is like already like fighting for mutant kind in the 90s, and then he gets pushed to the 2020s and he realizes shit is still bad, if not worse, it is only going to further radicalize him, which would be a much more interesting villain character, at least in my opinion.
There's two options they could do here, one of which we've already seen them try and they're currently doing, which is that Dr. Doom exists. We kind of talk about him off screen in the Fantastic Four movie and we'll bring him in when we think we're ready for him. The other option is they just don't do Magneto for a while. They do Hellfire Club. They do all sorts of other stuff. And then if and when they feel like they're running out of sizzle on the steak, they either turn to Magneto or we go for the fourth try or whatever at Dark Phoenix and see what we can do.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, there's no shortage of dud villains they can turn to. So, they can certainly do stuff for a while, but we'll find out. I don't know. I certainly
do cast Downey to be Magneto, I think.
I do not personally feel like, Magneto definitely has to have lived through the Holocaust. But I know that is, that's not everybody's perspective. Just make him Palestinian. That'll be easy. Nobody will get upset about that, right? Yeah. Anything else we want to hit on D23 before we get out of here?
No, I mean, I think there was a lot they covered this year. Like you said, it was Jason Derulo's first one, so it went pretty well.
Yeah.
All right, when we get back, pop culture recommendations. This has been Nerdigo News. Thank you so much for listening. We did it, guys. We did another podcast. Before we get out of here, we're going to hit you with some pop culture. No. Wait. What's the order I do these things in? This has been the show. Thank you so much for listening. We want to remind you about a few things before we get going. Make sure you head over to our website, nerdigo.com, or to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@nerdigomedia, if you're not into the whole brevity thing, where you can get all of these episodes, plus all the stuff we do behind the paywall, some bonuses, social media stuff, Nerdigo Media on socials, etc. Now, it's time for pop culture recommendations. These are things we've been watching, reading, eating, playing, or listening to that we've enjoyed recently and we think you might like too. And this week, I want to start with Bruno.
Hey guys, I watched a dinosaur movie this weekend and it did not start with Jurassic.
What?
It was End of Oak Street. I said it does not start with Jurassic, for once.
No, okay.
But no, End of Oak Street, David Robert Mitchell's latest film starring Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor. It's like it was just like an absolute fun, campy popcorn movie, and like a very love letter to the 80s. You
Mhm.
notice a lot of like inspiration from Spielberg movies and like just Amblin in general in there. And I loved it start to finish. It won't be everybody's like favorite movie, or like most, like some people won't really like hone in on it just because of like the campy nature of it. But when it comes to like the actual like dinosaur thrills of it all, it is like top notch start to finish. It is probably my favorite dinosaur movie since the original Jurassic trilogy. I don't know how much it ranks against those yet, but I highly recommend it to like everyone here at the very least.
Very cool.
I might try to see it during while it's still in IMAX, because those screens are hard to come by these days.
Does Oak Street intersect Cloverfield Lane at all?
No,
No.
this
too
does not.
different
Really,
parts.
just like its own little like campy fun ride. I
Jack,
I
the
highly
number one-
emphasize the campy because some people don't know that going in, and then they could be disappointed.
Be
The,
prepared.
the number one thing I've read about it is that it's very Amblin coded. So I'm glad to hear you say
Very.
that. Yeah.
It the Amblin coding of it all has me very much like on the fence about the Steelbook and if I want it or not.
That's funny. Jack, what you got?
Yeah, a video game came out recently called Big Walk that I'm very excited by. I haven't gotten to play it yet, unfortunately, because of real life stuff, but I'm still excited to try it, and everybody is saying it was better than they expected. But I've been excited the whole time, so once I get enough free time and enough friends together to try it, I'm looking forward to it.
I'm at the ready, Jack. It's in my library.
There's also a game on Steam that I wanted to pass along to you, Jack, called How Many Dudes?
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you've come across How Many Dudes yet,
I don't
but
think so.
I came across
It's-
that, but not on Steam.
it's well, it's a video game about how many guys you can fit in Deepak's butthole. For me,
It's not many.
no, wait, Deepak, what's your pop culture recommendation?
How many dudes?
So
no,
many dudes. It's 42 dudes.
Disney finally saw fit to release a physical copy of Barbarian, sometimes called Barbarian. You can't see it because my thing is all blurry, but it's the Steelbook. It's only available in the Steelbook, 4K. I haven't actually watched. I've seen the movie, but I haven't watched the 4K yet. But I'm super happy to have it. Just a heads up, I'm seeing a lot of stuff online that the Steelbook has not been made very well. Mine's okay. But apparently a lot of people are having issues with closing it, like either the bottom doesn't close, or if you can close it then the top pops open, so there's some manufacturing issues there. It also looks like Amazon and some of the other retailers are having trouble keeping up with the demand. There's a lot of delays, and people who pre-ordered it in advance are still haven't received it, and who knows if they will. I think it's the kind of thing where it's limited to only how many they can sell, so I think everyone will get a copy eventually, but they've kind of botched the release of this one, starting with the fact that it never came out on physical for 4 years. So it's here now. If you can get it, get it. It's a little expensive, but it's a great movie. So Barbarian.
Everybody's all excited about this Resident Evil director.
Mm-hmm.
This last week, Magic the Gathering and Wizards of the Coast released their Hobbit cards, and I like J.R.R. Tolkien, so I got a bunch of Hobbit cards.
Hell yeah.
So
Did John Howe do the illustrations?
There's all sorts of different types of people. I don't know if he did in particular, but I have some fun different art styles to show you here. I got a Gandalf.
Mm-hmm.
I got a Smaug.
Hey-o.
I got a Bilbo. I've been building a whole deck of Hobbit themed cards, and it's been a lot of fun. These are pretty good from my understanding. I'm not super into the Magic community quite yet, but everybody was telling me that the turtle cards were kind of duds, but these ones were pretty good. I've been seeing some pretty high prices online for a couple of the rare ones, and I have some of them, so I've been trying to decide whether or not to sell them. That's a whole journey I might go on. If I do, I'll talk about it here. Don't miss it. Subscribe to the show, nerdigo.com. This has been Nerdigo News. Thank you so much for listening. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe to the show. It helps us find new listeners. We want to thank Bruno Meneses for producing this episode. We want to thank Purple Planet for our music, and we want to thank you for all you do to support us. If you are behind the paywall, even better. Thank you so much for that. And don't forget to tune in next week to hear